Hi, my friends. This is Susan from Susie Quilts, and I have a few things to show you today, none of which are completed projects. But I do have some fat quarters that I've received for my birthday, and I'm going to show you the rest of what I have received so far. This first one is from the magnificent Miss Mirtha, and I just think it is gorgeous. Does that not look like lava? I love this fat quarter. Um, it kind of makes me want to make another Harry Potter quilt and use this in the cauldron. That's what I need's another excuse to make a Harry Potter quilt, right? Then from the fantastic Miss Amber, I got two fat quarters. One is this lovely green um, sparkly fabric. It's beautiful. And to go with it, the measurements fabric, which has all these wonderful rulers on it. I know exactly what this is going to make. This is strictly for me. This will be a pocketbook or tote or something on that line, in that line, just for me. And of course, I got some great cards to go with these. And if I can find it here, there it is. From the lovely and stunning Miss Jordan, there's the card. I got more gorgeous fabric that I do believe will be just for me. So I'm in love with this. I'm not a big orange fan, but I'm going to make an exception here. This is gorgeous. And I think I might be swaying toward the orange now. So that, along with the two that I've shown you already from, that's what I have. I do have an apology to make to Rainy. Oh, speaking of Rainy, I don't know where I've set the ones from her. I know they're in here somewhere, but right now I can't find them, but I'll show them to you next week. But to the fabulous Miss Rainey, I'm sorry that I'm late getting your birthday present in the mail. Old timer's brain, that's what I'm going to blame it on. But I know, anyway, I'll get it to you. Right now, I know you're having a fabulous time in Florida, so maybe by the time you get home, that I'll have it in the mail. Now, one of the reasons that I don't have anything to show for completions this week was I have completed 4 blocks up toward my rainbow cascade. But the last 3, I did something stupid, and I used the glue dots to hold it in place. The first block in place while I started working on the others, or the first square. Anyway, the first piece of fabric in place on the pattern. And as it turned out, I cannot get the glue dots off of the fabric, and they show through when you take the paper off and you try to scrape off the little glue dot. Some of them aren't coming off, and the other ones that did come off, you still see the residue on there. And I'm sure it's the brand of glue dots I used or whatever, but anyway, that's on 3 of the 4 that I finished. And I think what I'm going to do is use those 4 and either make a couple of cushions or a cup of, I don't know what else. I'll do something that's for me. But it just broke my heart because those 3 are just kind of unusable now as far as putting into a full quilt. So I started all over. And I changed my MO. Instead of making 1 block at a time, I'm making all of them at one time. I printed out all of the patterns for all 20 of the blocks that I'm making. And I'm chain piecing. And as you can see here are some of my part A's. And I've got all my A's done as far as sewing. See, it's whole bunches of them. Yay! Whoops, I dropped some. So, I got all my A's done. Oh, before that, I went through and I cut out all my pattern, all my pieces for each block in each of my fabrics. So you can see, there you go. And I cut out all the background block pieces and all the secondaries. And I put them in 2 bags. And I put them in bags by blocks. So all of my orange went into this bag, and all of my orange number 1 went into that bag. Orange number 2 went into a separate bag. So I've got 20 different bags, and each bag holds all of the pieces for the main pattern, for the main color, if that makes any sense to you at all. So there you go. All of my are in a bag. Now, I took the background fabric and I put that into 2 baggies, 1 for each of the 2 pattern pieces. So all of my the cutout squares or rectangles for each of the background fabric. This is all of the B's, by the way, that I haven't already attached. So all of them for B are in one pattern, in one baggie, and all of them for C are in another. And the same for the secondary fabric. So all of block A or piece A are in one. So there are 3 different bags for the secondary pieces and 2 for the primary. And I'm just scooting along with that. I've got all the A's done. I've gotten started on the B's. And I'll have all of the pieces. Whoops, I dropped again. I'll have all of the patterns completed as far as the sewing. And then I'll go through, I'll cut them apart, and I'll cut the pattern piece. Then I'll go through and I'll connect them. So at that point, I will be connecting them by block. And at the end of that, I'll have all my blocks done. Then I can put them together. So I'm thinking I like this better than doing them 1 block at a time. It seems to me to keep my attention better. I don't get as confused about what I'm doing next and whatever. So that's what I'm doing. We'll see how this goes. And I'm not using glue dots. Bingo. Lesson learned. Those glue dots will be fine for other things, but not for my quilting. And that, my dear friends, is what I've had going on. And that plus yesterday, my cousin went into the hospital to have knee replacement surgery. I spent all day at the hospital with her. I took her in. I got over to her house by 7:30. Took her to the hospital. We left her house at 8:30. She was supposed to have her surgery at 10, and something happened to one of the surgeries ahead of her, and so she didn't actually get to go in for her surgery until I think it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. No, excuse me. She did not actually start her surgery until almost 2 o'clock. So I was sitting in the waiting room all that time, not knowing that I could have been back there talking to her while she waited and I waited for several hours. But anyway, they didn't come out and tell me that. Um, but after 2, they came out and told me that she had just gone into surgery and apologized for the wait time, and that was okay. Um, I understand that emergencies come up, especially in hospital operating rooms. Um, so she got out of her surgery. She did fine. The doctor came out as soon as it was over, and a couple hours after, it took about 2 hours. He came out, told me that she went through it fine. The surgery looked like it did well, and that they would be moving her into a room shortly. Well, and they would take me up to the waiting room upstairs to wait for her to get in her room and get settled in. Well, I got to go upstairs, and they let me see her for a minute or two in the recovery room, and then they took me upstairs to wait for her. Well, an hour later, they came and got me, and I got to go in and see her. And so I did that, and of course, all during this time, I'm talking to her friends and other relatives that know about her being there, and sending them messages on what's going on, and her daughters, who both live out of state and could not be here. And got home about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And so it was a long day. I came home, settled down. I picked up dinner on the way home. We ate dinner. Tim and I ate dinner together. I watched a little TV, and took a hot bath and went to bed, and I slept for 11 straight hours. So anyway, I guess the only good thing about the surgery, well, the good thing about the surgery is she's not going to be in as much pain once she gets over the surgery. But she's been in pain with that knee for years, so now that at least is going to be better. But the other thing about being waiting for her during the surgery is that I didn't have access to a TV, and I didn't watch coverage of the Las Vegas shootings all day long, because I know that would have just put me into a deeper funk than I was already in over it. I don't know what to say about that, except that it's a shame, and this is becoming very scary. It seems like we have one crisis after another lately, and it's hard to deal with. But I'm going to shut up now. I love you all, and I will talk to you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.